Hello, sports fans, androids, drones, whatever you happen to be. I just wanted to double check my memory, and I did look up today about the trial, which was a civilian trial, which was held in the United States with one terrorist who essentially was only convicted of one count of trying to kill us versus about 270 or counts or whatever. And this was prior to the Obama administration's decision to do future terrorist trials down in GITMO, down in Cuba, the same GITMO which Obama promised to disband and get rid of it. And they did this whole dog and pony show as to why we should have civilian trials, and it's the greatest test of America. Well, they did one of them, and it turned out that it was a total disaster. And what's very puzzling in my mind is why the media is really not mentioning this previous trial in relation to what the government's going to do. They just talk about the reversal of Obama and Holter, but they don't really talk about what already has taken place. It's as if that trial never took place. And I really suggest that you look into this previous trial, because it's very significant, and yet the media won't really want to talk about it. It's very scary what the media is doing to you, and I'm sure it's doing it to me, but probably to a lesser degree. I don't want to sound elitist or anything, but we are all being worked over. And Michael Savage of WOR 710, really made it strike home. At first, when you listen to this guy, you think he's a raving maniac, and then he starts to bring you out of hypnosis, I guess you could say. He actually takes you out of hypnosis, and you start to see things for what they really are, in which no one wants to talk about the way they are, because we're so politically correct on almost everything. It's just amazing that we have Pelosi saying that, in theory, it shouldn't matter who gets elected if all the candidates are for the same values. Well, this is a whole bizarre concept. If everybody had the same values, why go and vote? I mean, if it doesn't matter who you're voting for, that your candidate isn't better philosophically or whatever, qualified, wise, or anything, or more honest than the other guy, I mean, what's the point of even voting? You talk about voter apathy, according to Nancy Pelosi. This is great. That take A or B. It doesn't really matter. All of the above. So that's where we are, and that's how we got on this whole terrorist thing. And look, everybody has their agenda. You have people who are probably making money to say all the Muslims are no good, and send money so we can defeat this and that. As far as this burqa thing or whatever over in France, as long as if a policeman ask them to take it off, they should have to take it off so they can see who they are, providing there's some sort of reason for them to be visualized. I think in the United States it's actually illegal to wear a mask other than Halloween. I think there's laws saying that you can't wear a mask. So what's the difference? Which I was surprised to see. There's a lot of laws that are in effect. And for the innocent average person, it really doesn't matter. But then again, take a look at Facebook, how they can identify your photographs. They're almost doing it automatically. You put on some photographs and they say, is this Fred? Because they have pictures that look like Fred from a previous upload. And now they're saying, is this Fred? Because they can identify your pictures. And this is probably going to be used by the government to identify you, so they know exactly where you are. You'll pop up here in San Francisco, or it's an interesting technology, and I don't think I have anything to hide at this point, nor do I think I'm going to have anything to hide. But just the same, it's kind of interesting, and no one seems to be picking up on on this Facebook technology, which I think is based upon what I think I'm seeing, is a reality at this point. Anyhow, getting back to these trials of these terrorists, it's amazing. I got an email, not an email, it was a Facebook listing talking about Rumsfeld, and I think I didn't even bother to go to the link, but ultimately the slant of it is usually that Rumsfeld was involved in waterboarding and, really treating our prisoners like animals from the terrorists and stuff down in GITMO or whatever in the field. And you know something? I don't care. I'm more concerned about Rumsfeld pushing through the artificial sweeteners, which have done tremendous damage to society. I'm interested in Rumsfeld being part of Monsanto. And also, I understand Clarence Thomas was also working for Monsanto and has ruled favorably as a Supreme Court justice for them on the Supreme Court. And I'm more worried about Rumsfeld being involved with Monsanto. So now that 80 or 90% of your foods are all genetically modified and have links to Monsanto or the other clones, this doesn't seem to bother you people. I find it totally amazing that you just have this, you've been worked up in this frenzy as far as worrying about our enemies. I'm worried about, I worry about our enemies. I want to be fair and be nice and all that, and have nice decorum and all that. But ultimately, I'm worried about the people of the United States more. I hate to say, I worry about my family more than I worry about the enemy. I worry about my friends more than I worry about the enemy. I worry about good people more than I worry about bad people. And maybe I'm strange that way, but that's the way I feel. So in any event, the trials have been moved now. All the terrorist-type trials will be now moved down to GITMO. Of course, we don't know if they'll actually classify some of these people as terrorists. When someone wants to blow up a plane or whatever the heck it is, they want to know if it's really, really, really connected. All I know is if they do blow up the plane, the people are just as dead one way or the other. It's almost like hate crimes. Like if you kill somebody and it's because of some sort of prejudicial issues, you've never seen the person before, but you went off for some reason, you saw this person, you saw red and you killed them. That's terrible, but if you just happen to be some unstable person who goes off the handle and kills somebody for no reason, that's okay. In fact, what they can do is they give you medications and you can be like Hinckley and be out on after trying to kill the President of the United States. It's really very, very, very strange what's going on. And the older I get, the stranger I think the whole experience is. So, anyhow, it's no doubt in my mind, after really seeing a total lack of coverage of the first trial, when it took place, and the guy only got one count of around 200, 300 counts he was found guilty of, which is enough to put him away for 20 years of life. But I'm thinking more like a firing squad or something. Any event, even when it took place, there was very little coverage about it, about the embarrassment to the administration. I mean, people like Sean Hannity and some of the other conservative people spoke about it, but the main media ignored it. But on this case, as far as bringing this case up again in relation to the most recent decision that the future terrorist trials will be down in GITMO, down in the place where Guantanamo, Cuba, where Obama said he was going to close it down, seems very, very strange that they don't mention the previous case as one of the reasons why they don't want to have it back up here. It'd be another embarrassment for them if they get another ruling like that. And essentially what they did say that in the civilian court they were going to have, that the person was going to be definitely found guilty anyhow. Now, how the hell can you talk that way if you're going to give these people a fair trial in a civilian court? You can't predict what the results will be. It's up to the jury, and that's one thing that the jurors should be able to do. and not be badgered by the judge as to how they should vote on a thing. It's the jury's. The whole jury system was to deal with laws that don't make any sense, laws that are unpopular, that seem unjust, and regardless of who passes them, the jury system, it's their duty as a juror to make that decision whether this is fair, what they're doing to the person. And a lot of people don't understand this, and a lot of judges don't like it. They like to be able to dispense justice the way, and they say you have to vote this way. You don't have to vote that way. That's a bunch of BS, and I can thank my Irwin Richard friend who really told me the beauty of the jury system. So if you want to have predetermined results, you do not take a case to the civilian courts. You use military justice, which is basically pretty swift. I don't know if it's always just, but then again, in times of war, and that's what we're at, things happen. Doesn't make it good or bad, it's just the reality. Anyhow, I hope you people take those chips out of your head so you don't feel threatened to act in a certain way. And eat your greens, okay?